Good evening, everyone. This is Josh SNE Weather. Just wanted to show you this brand new model that came out, was released HRR version 4. Right now it has the snow breaking out between 1 and 5 in the morning. Coming up, see this right here is some sleet moving into the area of the south coast and slowly making its way northward. All this purple is freezing rain that's taking place, and as you can see, it just continually moves up. And this model is actually suggesting that the rain gets into Providence and into the Boston area before it finally starts coming back down and changes back to a brief period of snow, maybe snow showers. This is not a really strong system or strong storm at all. It's just bad timing and just going to be a lot of sleet, a lot of ice with the system. Another thing I wanted to mention to you is later on Wednesday, we can expect some snow squalls to come in as an Arctic front is coming in, and I just love how you can totally tell these are lake effect snow bands taking place right there. And you can see right there you got yourself some good snow squalls taking place. And then you see that they eventually finally move out of the area. Well, this model, the HRR version 4, it's putting down some hefty snow totals up in northern Massachusetts. I mean, you got some 10-inch foots. You got a foot in there, 13 inches. So this area looks like it's going to get a pretty hefty amount of snow right up in here. That area looks like it's going to get most of the snow out of the system. And as you can see along the south coast, it's not showing too much. The European computer model says otherwise. It's pretty much the European is pretty much a widespread, like 2 to 4 inches of snow, except for like pretty much in this general vicinity. This area has more of a 6 to like 8-inch amounts in that area. So this is not going to be a snow event for us. This is going to be an ice and sleet event. So I'm going to show you a few more models, and then I'm going to talk about the cold that's going to come in. And so let's get over to the NOM. Alright, here we are with the NOM. This is at 850 millibars, and you can see cold air comes in. And one of the interesting features that I'm seeing here is right in this area here. We're still seeing that on these computer model runs. And I have a theory about what it is. What I think is happening is that you got warm air coming in this way, and you got colder air, drier air coming in this way. And I think what's happening is this right here is the collision line. So what's happening is that as the warm air is coming in, it's being, it's sinking. And the colder air that's coming in is rising. So, and that's why you see these temperatures just start building up, and you can see that very clearly because you don't see it much. Like you look at New York City at hour 2, you don't see anything. It's not until you only just start seeing it right here. So I really think that's what it is. It's just that warm air is hitting that colder air, and it's making the colder air just lift up right into the atmosphere, and you can just see it just moving forward. And that could actually possibly intensify the snow in this area, where we're showing like a foot of snow in these areas. It could intensify that snow just a little bit more if that ends up being the case. So here's hour 12, and as we saw with the previous model run, it's the freezing lines right here at the 850 millibar level. Well, if we look at the 925 level, at hour 12, and you can see it is still, remarkably cold at this level of the atmosphere. All right, so going back, hour 12, it's above freezing in some of these areas, and you go here, look, it's below. So chances are about 12 hours out, so we'll call it about 8:30 in the morning, it's probably going to be sleeting, if anything, in some of these areas that are still, that are going above freezing at this level of the atmosphere. If we go a few hours forward, you can see, we'll go to hour 16, you can see right here, it's just above freezing. It's just, no, hands down, no questions asked, 850 millibar. So, but if you go here, you can see down here, there's like an area of warm air that wants to surge up northward, and it's not, but everything's still below freezing. And if we take a real good look at it, it does eventually start getting above freezing at that level, but it's, to me, it looks like this area, you know what, let's double check. It looks like the freezing line, it doesn't get past Providence, and it doesn't get past Boston. It's almost like this, like, even like, yeah, these areas, these areas are the ones that could get rain, and if we look at the 850 in 24 hours out, that there's going to definitely be rain in those areas that I just pointed out. This area here, let's say like pretty much from here to there, it's going to eventually change to rain. So it's going to be an interesting scenario to say the least, with this storm system. So let's take a look at the HREF. And here we are with the HREF. Now this is a 3-hour freezing rain QPF ensembles. So if we go forward, you can see freezing rain gets all the way in. And, I look at this area of Connecticut, and that's going to be a lot of freezing rain, showing like, tenth of an inch with another tenth point, actually I should say 0.01 to tenth of an inch, but tenth of an inch to a quarter inch taking place in this dark green area. And then you got this like even darker green, which is a quarter inch to a half an inch, of freezing rain. And then you have another tenth to a quarter inch of freezing rain. So the question is how much ice is gonna form, and then eventually that gets out of there. But the question is how much ice are we going to see? All right, so this is the HREF 24-hour freezing rain QPF in inches. That's a lot of ice. Some of these areas are over half an inch to 3/4 of an inch in a 24 hours period. And you could see there's even, there's just going to be a lot of ice taking place on some of these areas. I'm really like, places like Fall River, there's some schools they're not canceling, they're just doing delays, and I think they're sadly mistaken doing that. I highly recommend, just schools to be, not in operation. I think the best thing for them to do is to be safe at home. All right, so here's the European computer model, and the euro is bringing the ice. It's keeping it actually out of southeast Massachusetts, and I don't think that's going to be the case. And then eventually it dissipates as the storm goes through. But there's a lot of ice. You're going to see like almost half-inch amounts there as it moves forward in time. And here we are with the European Union, European computer model showing sleet, and I find it interesting that it still doesn't say a lot of sleet, much for sleet is happening here. So I think the Euro is a little bit off on this. So we'll take a look at the NOM real quick. And here is the NOM show 3 km showing total cumulative freezing rain, and you could see that it's not playing around, like in Connecticut. Look at these numbers, half-inch. I mean, these are going to do some pretty good damage. I mean, look down here. Like even in New Jersey, 1 inch. I wouldn't be surprised if you saw some ice storm warnings going out over there. As it get, even tenth of an inch, 18th of an inch of ice is gonna, snap some trees and power lines. So we just gotta slowly watch this as the day progresses tomorrow, and it's just not gonna be a good day to travel. In general, the good news is it doesn't go too far north, so it's not like it's gonna it seems that it's gonna try to stay away from the Boston area. There's a slight possibility it can make it there. I did look at some of the upper dynamics of this storm. I still have the tendency to think that there are going to be areas, especially along the coast, something like maybe like in here. I think there's going to be more sleet than there is going to be before. I already did. There's going to be more sleet in those areas than freezing rain. And I still question whether like these numbers should be cutting it, should be like, wrong button. Let me get this off there. Actually, you know what? That actually would be something really cool to look at. So just give me 1 minute. I'm going to get that right back. So this is something that I like to look at. And, this gives you an idea of what's going on in the atmosphere. It's a lot of dynamics here, showing you things. I mean, possible hazards. It says right here, freezing rain pretty much. Well, I'm looking at this. So this is the different areas of the atmosphere. Try that again. This area, if you read these numbers, you remember how I talk about, the 850 millibar level, 925. So here's the 700. Here's 850. 925 is pretty much like right in there of the level of the atmosphere. And you can see right here, look at that. That's above freezing. All right. But you can see here it's below. So for that reason, it's more than likely going to be freezing rain for this area. It's something I like to look at and use. It's better than just flipping back and forth through models sometimes. But it's something to watch. I can even go forward in time, and you can see like, right here the temperature is 32, dew point 31, and you can see this area just like is definitely gotten warmer. But if you look right here, that's colder. That 925 area that I've been talking about. So you got an area here. Oh, why did it do that? No, it's not what I want to do. There we go. All right, let's try this again. So you got this area here. You know, it's warmer, but you got this area here that is colder. So chances are, even though the hazard says none, it is possible that we see some sleet in this area just by looking at that alone. You know, that's usually some features that I like to look at, you know, and see what exactly is going to go on. All right, let me dig into this cold outbreak that's coming. All right, so here we are tomorrow night. Look like lows in the upper 20s. But here we go Wednesday night. You know, you see that cold coming in. And here we are Thursday night, and it is cold. You know, low teens, upper single digits. Friday night, you know, you're starting to see some below zeros trying to come into the Berkshires. And then we start moderating a little bit along the coastline. And then, you know, we start getting out of that rut and getting back into lows in the 20s. And, you know, I really think the cold is going to suppress that storm next weekend, this coming weekend. The potential was there for a significant storm, but I really think that it's a strong possibility that the cold air is just going to suppress it to the south. And you know, and then next week a ridge is going to start building into the Midwest, and it's just going to be very warm out there. And so that's my thoughts on everything with this storm, with the snow squall Wednesday afternoon. Expect that. Maybe the possibility of a little bit of ocean effect on Thursday morning out on the Cape. And then you just expect some really cold temperatures as well. And as with every cold outbreak, there are wind chills. And the wind chills are going to plummet on Thursday morning. Look at that, below zero, -6, like over near Boston, -7, -2 Providence, even out in the Cape and getting below zero. Even during the day, I mean, this is like middle of the day, and it's still below zero. And you can see even on going into Friday, it's just cold. And you know, these temps start moderating by the weekend. Saturday looks like the last really cold morning, and then moderate Sunday and Monday, and you know, and eventually it just keeps going up and just fluctuating and everything. So there was a lot here, and a lot to go over, and so in summary, you know, I think there's going to be a pretty hefty sleet event. I think that the freezing rain might be overstated on the computer models. You know, even though it says like a ½ inch to an inch of freezing rain, I think we need to cut that number in half and throw a little more towards the sleet area. I do think a general 2 to 4 inches of snow, widespread throughout all southern New England is possible, except along the immediate coastline. The immediate coastline, and when I say that, is like pretty much like right along here, like that. I would say like that, and I would say Plymouth here, like on the boundary of that. Now there is an area that I'm kind of concerned a little bit for, and that's right in this area. I think there's the possibility of pretty much of a 3 to 6 But it would not be surprising if someone came out with an 8-inch amount up north of the Mass Pike, pretty much. Um, but yeah, so snow, sleet, freezing rain, and I think rain it will get to probably like the same places where I put the coating to 2 inches. I think the rain's going to do something like this, so I would expect some rain here, and then I think it's going to be a prolonged um, freezing rain and sleet event in this area, and then as you go a little further north, they're going to get some freezing rain here, but I think it's going to be just a little bit more snow, and then I think up here just all snow. I think it's just going to be all snow right in this area. So I'm Josh. This is SNE Weather. Everybody have a great night.